I'm so glad you're back. Yesterday we spoke about the 3 biggest myths about grief. Today we're going to take on the big one, that there are somehow 5 mysterious stages of grief, and if you do them just right, you'll come to a magical stage called closure. The 5 stages of grief come to us from an amazing woman, Dr. Elisabeth Kubler-Ross. The problem is she never once referred to grief in 5 stages. She wrote her famous books about the experience of the dying patient, not about the surviving family and friends. The grief she spoke about was called anticipatory grief, the grief of a person as they come to terms with having a terminal illness and the very clear fact that they are going to die and need to get ready. You may have seen your loved one experience some of what she described as they tried to bargain for more time, became angry that they were dying, and would be losing out on experiences they didn't want to miss, even denied how serious their illness was. Many people are able to come to terms with the fact that they are dying and that their death is coming and that they need to say goodbye. That's their need for closure. They do get to say goodbye. They get closure, and they mean it. Dr. Kubler-Ross did all of her research on anecdotal investigations and descriptions from patients. That means there wasn't a scientific format with a hypothesis and testing and a final answer. That wasn't what she was about. Her role, which was huge, was simply to get us talking about death and dying. That was the name of her book, by the way, and it was revolutionary at the time, on death and dying. It started a conversation. Then the concept was borrowed by some very well-meaning people who wanted a way to describe the grief process after a death. That's where we went wrong. Her work was entirely with patients facing death. We are grievers facing the loss of a loved one. They aren't here, and we still are trying to cope with the long-term impact of their absence. There are no 5 simple stages to find closure. But who says that out loud? We want closure. We want the hurting to stop. We want the happy memories to always make us happy. And instead, sometimes we cry. Why? Because closure is the biggest myth of all. You have accepted your loved one died. You may not like it. I know I don't. But you took the steps to accept it by getting here. You've made funeral arrangements, or ordered flowers, or maybe you wrote the eulogy, or notified loved ones. You wouldn't do that if you honestly thought they were still here. Your path through your unique and individual loss will have many stages. Some will feel like huge steps forward. Some will feel like backward steps. You'll have good moments, then good days, and then there'll be sadness at times too. That's normal. Your loss has had a huge impact on your life. You've had to find a way to make your life work with that absence and the missing and the sadness. You get to smile too. That's what's wrong with the 5 stages. They seem like they're in a line, and somehow if you go backward, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it your way. There isn't a forward and a backward. There's just you, working through the woulda, coulda, shouldas left over from your life with your loved one. When you have been through that and worked those out, and when you're ready, you will gradually transition into a new life, bringing some of that old life with you. That's recovery, without stages. Your path through loss is about how you manage it, and having the right support so you know you are doing it just the right way you need to. No stages, no good or bad, no judgments. This is hard enough without those, don't you think? I hope this was helpful today. The next video will arrive soon, and we'll talk about the things grieving people don't want to hear. I'm sure you already have a list of your own. The point is, you're not alone. Thanks for listening.